Hello guys, today we'll be writing a C++ program that accepts the wattage of 12 lightning points in a building and calculates the total lightning load, and it also displays the total power of that place in watts. Let's begin. So we'll start by including the input output library called the IO stream. So we include IO stream. Then we'll also be using std, the namespace std, so that we will not always be typing std every time you want to type console in and then console out. So namespace std, and we also end every statement with a semicolon. So now we also call our main function. Okay, so now to recap, what were you even trying to do right now? So we say accept the lightning or the wattage of 12 lightning ports in the building, then calculate the total lightning load. So we need two variables. First of all, we need each of the ports, and then another variable for all the total the number of wattages. So we declare two variables of type double. So in C++, you write the variable type first, which is double. So we need two variables, wattage and then total power, no, total wattage, or the total power. You always end every statement with a semicolon. So now, we want the user to enter the lightning point at 12 places. So in this case, we will write it using a for loop so that it accepts the input 12 times using that for loop, and then adds it and accumulates it and store it into the total power variable. So now let's begin with our for loop. So in our for loop, it's our for loop, and then we write our statement inside. First, we set the initial variable, which is I. So we set I equal to 1. Then the second part of it will increase. We'll check whether that I is less than or or equal to 12, because we're supposed to run it 12 times. And then we'll increase I by 1. So I plus plus. So it's always increase I by 1. So now inside our for loop, what do we want to do? We want to accept the user's input. So first of all, what we'll say is, you're supposed to type int there, because the variable that is called I that we've created is a variable type of an integer. Yes, this one should be separated by semicolons also, not commas. So replace all of this with semicolons. Right. Okay. So we want to accept the inputs, but we need to tell the user that we want an input. So what do? So we display it to the console. So console out. So console out, they will tell it inside currently enter wattage. So enter wattage of point. So of point I, because since I increases every single time, for the first time I will be 1, second time when the loop runs I will be 2, I will be 3, I will be 4. So that will be the number of points. So we want to also store whatever the user, so total power, everything inside total power, and everything inside wattage we inputted into total power. So if total power was 0 in the first loop, and then the wattage you entered was like 10, so 0 plus 10 making it what? 10. So at that moment, total power becomes 10. If the loop runs again, and then another wattage like 20, it adds the 20 to that previous value of total power that was 10. So it becomes 20 plus 10. So at the end of their loop, what we want to do, we want to display the value of the total power. So to do that, what we can say is console out. Then what can we say? Console out the total amount of power or wattage is. Total wattage is, they write the total power there. Total power. Always end with a semicolon. Now, let's test our program. So running our program, it asks us enter wattage of point. Enter wattage of 0.1. So let's say 2 throughout. So 0.1, the wattage is 2. 0.2, the wattage is, so enter wattage of 0.2. Let's say another 2. Enter wattage of 0.3. Let's say 4. Let's say 5. Let's say 7. Let's say 8. Let's say 9. Let's say 7. Let's input random till we reach our 12th point. Then we press enter. Then it should tell us the amount of points. We say that the total wattage is 64. So here I want to make sure that it adds it in watts. So when I come here, I can use the watts here. Right, it tells me that 64 watts when I run my code next time.